What's up, Giant fans? Peace. It's been a long time since I made a video. Um, got a lot to talk about. Some sad news. Uh, First, I want to start off by saying congratulations to Saquon Barkley. Um, I didn't think he was going to get the money. I didn't think he was almost going to get $13 million a season. Congratulations to him getting that. Uh, Congratulations to Xavier McKinney for getting his contract with the Green Bay Packers. But I just want to talk about where the Giants are going, in my opinion. I did a couple of mock drafts, as you know. I'll be doing another one after free agency, probably in about another week or so. Let free agency settle down a little bit. But I just wanted to say I think the Giants are moving in the right direction. I know it may not seem that way. I know a lot of people are angry with Saquon Barkley right now for going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Me personally, I'm disappointed that he went to the Philadelphia Eagles, but he went with the money. So, you can only wish the best for him. You can only wish the best for Xavier McKinney. They're doing what they feel they need for their family to continue to sustain generational wealth. And from a business standpoint, they did what they had to do. So hats off to them. But moving forward, the New York Giants have acquired Brian Burns, outside linebacker for the Carolina Panthers. This is big because you now pair Brian Burns with Kayvon Thibodeau. You now have a legit pass rusher on the opposite end that teams have to defend. So Dex is going to eat up a double team. Kayvon, Brian Burns, somebody is going to get a one-on-one. It's up to them to win that matchup. But I like it. They gave up a second rounder, their top second round pick, which was 33 overall, I believe. So, considering the fact that we gave him $110 million also, you might view that as kind of high, but the Giants needed a consistent edge rusher opposite Kayvon Thibodeau. I love Azeez Ojulari. I hope Azeez Ojulari is still with the Giants, but Azeez can't stay healthy. At least now with Brian Burns, it takes some of the pressure off of Azeez Ojulari. And then when he does play, that gives us 3 edge rushes. When the Giants were in their heyday, under Steve Spagnuolo, when we was running the NASCAR defense, we was basically running with defensive ends along the defensive line. I believe Justin Tuck was the only pure defensive tackle. Then you had Osi Umenyiora, you had Kiwi, Michael Strahan, you had them all in there. So, the Giants are getting back to what they feel is a winning formula for them. And I like it. I think it's a good move for them. Like I said before, I think that it's a positive. Brian Burns is a young player. He's a young, established pass rusher. And this is only going to help us. What's Kayvon going to ask for in another 2 years or so when his deal is up? But the Giants will have some flexibility to move money around and stuff. Now I would like to see them work on the interior line. They also signed Devin Singletary. Um, he's an underrated back, but Devin Singletary could play ball. He's a good pass catcher. He could run in between the tackles. He's got a small compact frame, but he could run in between the tackles. But I think you'll see the Giants address the running back position in the draft. I would love to see them get Blake Corum. He's got tremendous power, short area quickness, quick feet. He reads his blocks very well, and he gets the tough yardage. When you watch Michigan play, whether it was 4th and 2, 4th and 3, 3rd and 6, they gave it to Blake. And Blake was able to get those yards. That's why they called him Blake the Great. I still, I still would like them to take a wide receiver. But now, with the draft, giving up a second rounder, giving up a fifth rounder, they're kind of condensed in what they could do. I would like to see them move down in the second round. I think they got like the 57th pick. I would like to see them move back a little bit and get some extra picks if they can. But we'll see. But they still got their 3rd round pick, which is big. And basically, they used the pick that they got for Leonard Williams for Brian Burns. So, I mean, it wasn't their pick anyway. I mean, it was their pick, but, essentially, if you say second round pick, they gave up a second round pick for him. I think the 57th is the one they got from Seattle, but, it's still a good thing. And Brian Burns is going to open up a lot of things, and he's going to free up a lot of playing ability for Bobby Okereke, for Micah McFadden. I think you're also going to see the Giants address the linebacker position, whether it's in free agency or via the draft. They might have to go via free agency, being that they don't have a lot of picks right now. I think we only had like 7, and now we're down to like 5. So, they got a hit on all those picks. We need a number 1 weapon, and we're probably going to have to go with a developmental quarterback. Maybe if Bo Nix falls, or Spencer Rattler, a guy like that. But I like what they did, man. I feel they should move down in the second round, try to get Tavondre Sweat or Darius. Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting that guy's name. The guy from Western Kentucky, I believe. He could play defensive line, and he could play edge. So he's also one of those swing type guys. And then just use the rest on interior linemen, bro. If basically the good thing with Xavier McKinney and Saquon Barkley leaving, that hopefully will give us some compensatory picks. I think that's what Joe Shane is betting on. If it does, great. Because that'll give us maybe a 3rd rounder or a 4th rounder. But those are big losses. But I think the Giants can replace them. And, I think the Giants are moving into a youth movement. Saquon was going to be, I think, maybe 27. And, he's got some miles on them tires. He's got a little bit of tread left, but he's got some miles on them tires, and the Giants didn't want to pay him $13 million, and I don't blame him. I mean, a lot of people are probably mad at Joe Shane, but Saquon Barkley was the one that was walking around talking about he wanted to be a Giant for life. So, If you want to be a Giant for life, brother, sometimes you gotta make a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta take less money for the betterment of the team, for the team to get better. Patrick Mahomes did it. Look what's happened to him. It's brought him 3 Super Bowls. You know what I mean? So, you can't say you want to be a Giant for life and then take the highest, best bag you could get. That's kind of like an oxymoron. Once again, I'm not mad at him for it. But, I mean, just, your words come back at you. You know what I mean? But I think the Giants will be fine. I think they're moving in the right direction. They haven't even gotten to the point where they need to restructure a Dexter Lawrence or a Thomas. You know what I mean? So they're in a good position right now financially. I think they might go linebacker in free agency if they could get a good deal. And then you'll probably see them maybe take a flyer on a corner later on in the draft, or if somebody falls, or you also got to remember what Darren Waller's going to do. Supposedly, there's a rumor that he wants to retire, because of all his injuries. So if he retires, I think that gives us an exemption. And, what are they going to do with that? So, the door isn't closed on the Giants. People just got to be realistic on what the Giants are going to do. But now you have to focus on solidifying that other defensive tackle spot and then working on the interior line on the offense, both guard positions. If they do that, and they could squeeze a tight end or running back out of the draft, I'm all for it, dude. Because Daniel Jones has shown he can play, and people are knocking him and angry at him and stuff like that. But let's look at it. Daniel Jones, as a starting quarterback, when he's healthy, has been a decent quarterback. When he's had protection, he's able to make plays with his legs. He's able to make every throw. And really, when you look at the money that some of these quarterbacks are getting and some of the money these quarterbacks are talking about getting, the Miami Dolphins, I heard, are talking about giving Tua Tagovailoa $50 million. Now, everybody was jumping up and down, mad that Daniel Jones got 40. Tua might be getting 50. I don't think Tua's won a playoff game. You know what I mean? Daniel Jones has. So, you gotta take the good with the bad, brother, and you gotta look at things as objectively as possible. And the Giants they're also trying to stay relevant, but they're also rebuilding. I think this draft is gonna weigh heavy on what they do. You might see Romeo Odunes, Malik Neighbors, and Marvin Harrison go in the top 5, and then the Giants are gonna have a decision. If that does happen, that'd be great, because then you say one of the top 3 quarterbacks will slide, and then the Giants could use that as a bargaining chip to get more draft capital. You know what I mean? So, a lot of things can happen, brother. And, the season isn't over. It just begun. The start of the NFL season actually isn't until Wednesday, but, legalized tampering started today. But as a Giant fan, I'm proud. I'm happy with what they did, what Joe Shane did. Getting Devin Singletary, getting Brian Burns, that's big. That's big, because that helps a lot. And Singletary is a little bit younger, but he's also healthy. He's also more durable. Saquon has an injury history. It's going to be interesting to go up against him twice a year because he's got a good relationship with some of them players on that team. But, business is business. And they got to go out and hit him, and they got to go out and hit him hard. And, one thing about Saquon, he's a competitor, and, he's going to give it all he's got. So when you go at him, you got to go at him with the intent to hit him. But I like what they did. Nobody saw the Brian Burns deal coming. I certainly didn't. And I think that really puts the Giants up there. Brian Burns, Kayvon, Azeez Ojulari, Dexter Lawrence, Davidson, J.J. Davidson, Nunez Roche. They still need another defensive lineman, defensive tackle to play opposite Lawrence. But there's some guys in the draft. And somebody's going to fall, bro. And if you can't get one of the top 3 receivers, if you're the Giants, you have to trade back. Trade back to 14. Take Keon Coleman, bro. Keon Coleman is a big, strong receiver, good hands, can run all the routes. His concentration lapses from here to there, but nobody's perfect. But you put Keon Coleman alongside Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson. Now you're saying something. If you can solidify that offensive line, maybe get a Zach Zenner or a Hayes from UConn or a Cooper Beebe, solidify that offensive line, take 2 guards, get a playmaking tight end because you already got Daniel Bellinger. They're right there. And safety, there's some safeties in this draft. The well isn't dry. And you also got free agency, brother. And the Giants got money if they need to use it. So don't lose heart. Don't be all down and Saquon left. I mean, to be honest with you, fuck Saquon. He's not with us no more. He decided to go to the Eagles. That pissed me off that he went to the Eagles. But that's what he felt he needed to do. So be it. We got to move on as Giant fans, man. We can't sit there and live in the past. That's the past. Xavier McKinney decided to move on and go to the Green Bay Packers. God bless him. But we got to move on. We got to move on, and we got to do what's best for the New York Giants. We still got Pinnock. Belton's going to get a lot more burn. Owens is going to get a lot more burn. The guy from Houston that we took last year at safety. So, the cupboard isn't bare, man. They got a couple of holes to fill. Granted, both guard positions, tight end, defensive line, maybe a corner. Or, maybe with another year of development, Trey Hawkins develops into the player that we think he can be. So, we don't need another corner right now. We could take one later on in the draft, like a Cam Hart or a Mikey Sanders still. You know what I mean? So, the cupboard isn't bare, brother. And, with the pass rush that we're expected to generate, we can maybe afford to play a Trey Hawkins and let him develop and hopefully develop into the player that we think he can be. So we'll see how it goes. And we'll take it from there. But until then, I'll see y'all next week. I'm definitely going to put content out next week. And don't lose heart, man. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Life after Saquon doesn't mean death. So we're gonna be all right. I think we're in good hands. All right. Until next week, peace. I'll have some more updates for y'all. Y'all will probably hear about it, but I'll have some more updates for y'all, and we'll see what happens. All right. Peace and God bless.